Hi everyone, it's been a long time and it's honestly been way too long since I've done one of these, and it's time is ripe to do it because today the date is the 10th of November, and about 2 weeks ago it was Bayonetta's 10th anniversary, so why wouldn't I talk about Bayonetta on the 10th anniversary? Plus also we've had a little bit of news and a little bit of stuff that I can talk about now, so yeah, let's talk about Bayo. Let me just get my notes up because I've been streaming. I did have some semblance of a plan of what to talk about today, but mainly let's talk about Bayonetta's 10th anniversary. So Bayonetta actually was the first game, was released 10 years ago now on the 29th of October, and you'll note that this is the Japanese release date. For the rest of the world, it got released in January on varying dates. So technically speaking, for the rest of the world, it's not quite 10 years yet, but, you know, same difference, whatever. But the thing I wanted to talk about is the fact that they've announced a whole lot of new things in conjunction with the 10th anniversary. Starting with this whole Bayonetta 10th hashtag competition that Platinum Games is running. So I'm not sure if anyone in the chat has actually tried to enter this yet. I haven't done anything. With that hashtag yet, because I'm pretty sure videos like mine don't get any sort of attention. They probably want short, succinct, interesting videos and not videos of you being good at the game, unfortunately. And that's just been par for the course. Not that I'm bitter or anything, I mean it sounds that way, but not that I'm bitter or anything, but they just don't really care about Bayonetta gameplay is what I get. What does get a lot of good stuff though, and I do like seeing this, is like, you know, fan art and cosplays and stuff. It's been really good. I myself follow the Bayonetta cosplay hashtag on Instagram because I'm a complete whore for that stuff. And I've also been following lately the Bayonetta 10th. I think it's Bayonetta 10th hashtag? Yeah. Bayonetta 10th hashtag, which has come up with some interesting things as well. A lot of reposts of old cosplays and stuff. But overall, it's just been a really great sort of coming together for the Bayonetta community. It's been really nice to see that, you know, in the 10 years since it's come out, that lots of people still really love the game, like myself, and just coming together to enjoy something that, you know, is quite pure at the end of the day. So the whole thing with that is that I think it runs until the 20th of this month, so you've got a couple more days to enter. So in case you're not aware of it, the way you enter is that you follow the official Platinum Games accounts on Instagram or Twitter, and you tweet something, you tweet or you post something using the Bayonetta 10th hashtag. 19th or 20th. I could check, but you know, it's another 10 days roughly. And as much as I would like to, I just don't really have the time to be recording, I guess, a nice, short, sharp, shiny style video. I could resubmit some old stuff. I think there's some stuff on my channel which I think is like pretty decent. So yeah, so you enter using that hashtag, and then they'll pick. I don't know how exactly they'll pick. Maybe Kamiya actually has some say in this. He'll pick the best. I think there's like 20 or so prizes in total. The top prize being a collection of, gosh, I've written it down here. So you get an acrylic Bayonetta stand, which is basically the Bayonetta. So Bayonetta in acrylic in front of a Bayonetta logo, which looks pretty cool. It's a nice little display piece. It's basically also the sort of stuff that you'd put into a display cabinet. So there's that. You also get a signed Climax edition. Actually, no. The Bayonetta stand is signed by Kamiya. You also get a Climax edition for the Switch. So the Climax edition being I think it's the Japanese version. So if it is, you end up getting the rarer, quote-unquote, version of the game, because you end up getting a physical version of Bayonetta 1. So Bayonetta 1 does not exist physically for the Switch. So if it is the Japanese version, that makes it quite worth it. So you've got the Bayonetta stand, you've got the Climax Edition on Switch, and a t-shirt and folder set designed by Mari Shimazaki, which we don't know what it looks like yet, but I'm sure being her it will look really great. And there's like four different kinds of prizes. So people can win either all of that or one of those things. But the thing I really want to talk about is the additional announcements they made during the whole Bayonetta 10th anniversary thing. So they've actually announced brand new official merchandise, which is pretty exciting. Although there's one thing which I noted on that post, so they've posted on their website, Bayonetta is appearing in an iOS Android game, Valkyrie Anatomia? I have no idea what this video game is, but apparently she's only going to be available in the Japanese version anyway, so I don't know. They've also announced a Bayonetta Nendroid, which is going to be very interesting to see. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of Nendroid, so it's not the sort of product for me, but I imagine for a lot of people it'd be one of those very accessible, I can finally have a Bayonetta figure. So it's a good thing they're going to do it, honestly. I think Nendroids are posable, which would be kind of cool as well. But the one that everyone in the chat is currently talking about is the apparel and accessories. So Super Groupies, which is a company which makes official merchandise, are releasing a Bayonetta 1 themed backpack, a wallet, and a wristwatch. I should actually pull up the picture here because they look pretty freaking good, but I don't want to turn off the music. I don't know, like, it's obviously they're products that I personally wouldn't want to get, but you know, as a collector, it's like, sure, should I get it? I'm probably not going to end up buying them because they are going to cost a lot of money. They did announce the prices actually, which are, quote, tentative without tax. So the watch is, let's just round up, 30,000 yen, which if you translate to money that I'm aware of is roughly $400 Australian or $270 US for a backpack. And I'll have to remind you that the glasses, the official glasses, like the Bayonetta 2 official glasses, were not much more than that. So I don't know whether you actually ever want to pay that much money for a backpack that you may not ever use. Because me personally, I'm a collector. I would buy things so that I have them, but I wouldn't use it because if I were to use it, it would get all dirty and gross, and it wouldn't be taken care of properly. So it would just be literally a display piece. The idea of there being a Bayonetta backpack that you can use and like wear down and make it look ugly is like horrifying to me as a collector. But hey, you do you. If you want to spend $400 Australian for a backpack. So this is the problem here, SSM. They don't make merchandise affordable. If you look at the official stuff they have released so far, which is at this stage just the glasses and the earrings, each one of those things has been north of $200 US. I've spent a lot of money acquiring those official items, so it makes sense, unfortunately, that they would charge this much for, you know, a backpack or whatever. Sorry, I got that mixed up. So that was $400 for the $400 for the watch. So if I want to get the watch, that wristwatch, which has some nice detail on it actually, I would have to pay $400. Yeah, I got that mixed up. Sorry. Yeah, the watch is 400 Australian dollars or 270 US dollars, and it. According to Trackwood, it has a typo. It uses the wrong kind of 4. They did also say that those pictures weren't the finalized version, so it may be. It's likely hopefully they'll fix it. The watch I think actually looks pretty decent, but I don't know any person who would wear a watch like that these days. And I'm just gonna say thank you to all the people in the chat who have actually bought stuff from my store. It really makes me happy to see people enjoying it, because my aim with my store was to give Bayonetta merchandise that was affordable and good quality, and wouldn't step on the official merchandise toes. And I think I've hit that pretty well, but I'll talk a little bit about that later. So yeah, the watch, $400 Australian. The backpack is $200. Whether it was $400 or $200, I was not ever going to pay $200 to buy a backpack. But it's pretty nicely themed. And the wallet is, so there's a wallet as well, $160, 160 Australian dollars, or 110 US. Yeah, I just don't, I'm sure people will buy it, because there's one thing that Sega knows, and ironically that I know, is that I think Bayonetta fans will pay anything for anything, because there's been so little Bayonetta merchandise out there. It's nice to get official, good quality stuff. So, yeah, people will still buy it. So, the release date for those items, so the watch, the backpack, and the wallet, if you want to drop, oh god, like $800 plus shipping, probably $800 Australian for all three of those things plus shipping, you can do that next year. It says spring 2020, so I'm assuming that's spring for Northern Hemisphere, so that will be Q1, I think it is. So yeah, there's that. I actually I'm gonna pull up a picture now just for my reference. Okay. Yep, there's an Android, which we have 0 details on, and the bag. Okay, so the bag, I reckon, looks pretty good, honestly. I think I've done a good job capturing Bayonetta's like style. Although, one thing that bothered me when I first saw it was the fact that the buckles aren't the same as her actual buckles. Like, yeah, it's a little minor thing, but I think, like, if you're gonna make Bayonetta merchandise that I'm paying $200 for, you better damn well get all the details right. I don't know, I guess just Bayonetta's design has always been quite stylish, so, you know, gold, black, and, you know, a hint of red has always looked very good, so I look at the wallet, for instance, it looks really good. And yeah, the watch with the colour, the red stitching, it looks really good. Like, they've gotten a good sense of the style of Bayonetta, obviously, so I think it's good, but I'm not going to pay $400 for a fucking watch. It's just insane. Would I be okay with $400 if it was actually her timepiece? Yes. Like, I admit, like, I considered it when I was designing Bayonetta's brooch for my store. Is like, what if I made this actually a watch? It would be sweet. But that would have been a little bit too much effort, I think, for what I was aiming for. My aim for my store is cheap cosplay stuff, essentially. Cheap, high quality stuff. So, I don't know. Down the line, maybe I could make an actual timepiece. But not at this stage. But yeah, I think out of all of them, the wallet's the best thing, but I don't know. I've been trying to phase out using a wallet, because who the hell handles money these days, right? So yeah, sale date for them is early spring 2020. We'll see how that goes. I would like to see the finalized versions of all those products, because, as some people have pointed out, there are some issues with it. So the other really cool thing they announced was the fact that, you may remember that a couple of years ago, in 2017, that First 4 Figures, who I wasn't familiar with as a figure company, but people who obviously collect figures do, they create pretty high quality figures. They announced that they were going to do a Bayonetta figure. And I was quite excited because I was hoping for another, you know, really good Bayonetta figure. But it actually turns out they announced that they were going to be releasing Scarborough Fair. Now I'm kind of on the fence with this because while I like Scarborough Fair, like, I really, really wish it actually had been just another Bayonetta figure, because there are so many Bayonetta guns available. Like, I can go onto Etsy and get a couple of people, couple of creators there who make pretty good quality looking Scarborough Fair. And there's also a Japanese guy as well who you may be familiar with. I think it's Hal Ironworks 88 or something on Twitter. He does a very good quality replica as well, and that's honestly all thanks to the power of 3D modeling and 3D printing. But they do a really good job. So yeah, First 4 Figures have announced that they're making the full set of Scarborough Fair. What's not clear, but I kind of assume it is that you can take them off of the display stand. They come with pretty nice display stands. But yeah, I really wish it had been an actual Bayonetta figure, honestly. I know it's Bayonetta 1, I would have killed for a Bayonetta 2 figure. That's just me. Like, I don't know why there is no Bayonetta 2 figures at all. Like, not at all. Apart from the amiibo. And yeah, I hear you. I wish there was like stuff other than Bayonetta merch, but you have to remember that for the majority of people, it's all about Bayonetta and not about Jean. And this is all about Bayonetta's 10th anniversary, and Jean is just like a 2-bit like secondary character for a lot of people. So yeah, there's no information on the price at the moment, but they say they're opening pre-orders next year. So, fuck, I don't know how much that is gonna cost. Like, fuck, they're gonna really just milk us dry in terms of buying all this merchandise, huh? I would guess though, like, I don't know, I don't have a frame of reference for how much First 4 Figures usually charge for their figures, but I'm going to guess, like, a lot of money. Let's just say a lot of money. So now I can talk about my shop. So for those of you who aren't aware, I do have an Etsy shop where I sell some replica stuff. I've got earrings, I've got Bayonetta's brooch, I've got some Jean I've got some Jean merchandise as well, which is quite hard to get. I've also got some really niche stuff like an Affinity plush. But hopefully by the time this video goes up, I will have an announcement regarding Bayonetta's glasses. So for those of you who don't know, I will be releasing Bayonetta's glasses from the first game to be made available on my store. The cost of that will be 180 Australian dollars plus shipping. And I'm very excited about it because those glasses have been ridiculously hard to find for anyone who wants to even would like to have a pair of them. And anything that there hasn't been a great alternative for Bayonetta's glasses, so I'm really looking forward to being something just making it available for everyone at a reasonable price, because I have to remind you, if you think what I'm charging is a lot, the original glasses cost 400 or more Australian dollars. So yeah. I understand it's a lot of money, but it's not nearly as much money as official merch. Do you think they'd re-release the glasses for Bayonetta 3? Based on previous trends, no. Probably not. I've noticed that a while back they stopped selling, or the Bayonetta 2 glasses stopped being available. And it doesn't seem like they're going to restock them anytime soon. So I wouldn't imagine they'd re-release them unless there's a precedent to do so. So we can go into Bayonetta 3 speculation again, but there's nothing really new to go over here. It's like it's looking like there's going to be some old aspect of original Bayonettas and Bayonetta from the first game in the third game. So maybe based on that, they might re-release the first set of glasses. But I don't know if they would have a cassette of all three, and even if they did, that would cost a lot of money. Because I think the Bayonetta 2 glasses were $450 US or something crazy, right? Something ridiculous. So if you had a set of all three, they would literally cost you over $1,000. So yeah. But yeah, that's all the news about Bayonetta's 10th anniversary. So Platinum Games have a fair bit of things going on in that regard. I'm hoping that I can, I don't know, maybe resubmit some of my videos, or I could take some more pictures of my merch and do something with that. I don't know. Like, I could enter, honestly. It's just time. I'm so time poor. So yeah. But it's nice to sort of think about 10 years ago where we were with Bayonetta. Because I think I've talked about this story a lot, like how I got into Bayonetta. It was just one of those things where you see the trailers and the advertising, it's like, wow, that really speaks to me. And Bayonetta was one of those, like, it was the game that actually like captured like my attention, and I actually like was searching for news about it before it got released. And then when it got released in Japan, which of course was 3-4 months before it actually got released in Australia, I was following Japanese players and watching all the videos and just trying to like get every single little bit of like Bayonetta information that I could. So yeah, I spoiled myself in the game, but it wasn't really about the story or anything, it was more about the gameplay. I'm just trying to think, 2010. I think I would have been... So in 2010 I was still in university. Actually no, I was just about finishing university, and I had a gap year, so I wasn't looking for work and I was just doing whatever, mainly because I was lazy. Yeah, so but I got into Bayonetta when I had basically a year of doing nothing, and I could just do terrible things like just, you know, stay up late playing video games or whatever. So Bayonetta became my jam purely because I had the time to do so. Like, I think if I had had a job or something, I think I probably wouldn't have gotten into it as much. But yeah, 2010 was when I was finishing university, and I was just in between, you know, university and work. And it just became a thing, honestly. Like, I was playing it all the time, and I'm just trying to remember. No, so yeah, I got it on PS3 originally because that's what I had. And I finished it on PS3. I don't remember if I actually pure platted everything on PS3. But yeah, so 2010 was when I got it. And I didn't actually start uploading videos about it until 2011. And the whole reason behind that was because I saw... So you guys may or may not be familiar with the idea. I post my videos, my Let's Plays, on a forum called Something Awful, which arguably is the origin of where Let's Plays came from. Not that it's called Let's Play anymore, but that's what it was called. And I originally got into making videos because I saw some clowns making a video, like a test video almost, trying to gauge like, oh, how's this video looked for playing Bayonetta? And they were very, very bad at it, and they just weren't very good commentators at it. So I looked at it and thought, geez, I could do a better job, and I love this game, so I did that. I went out and got a capture card. It was like a PCI slot capture card, and learned how to, you know, record and edit videos and do audio and everything, and you can watch all of that. It's freaking terrible. My very first Let's Play on my channel is absolutely awful. I pulled in an internet friend who, because I didn't want to talk by myself, which is kind of hilarious looking back on it now because I can do it very easily, but back then it was like, oh god, I can't talk by myself for 20-30 minutes. It's just impossible. So I roped in a friend to help me out with that, and you can watch how that went out. Like, I believe I have never ever rewatched those videos, but I'm pretty sure they are fucking awful. Like, really, really bad. And because they're a relic of their time, they're also probably not very PC these days, which isn't great, but it's just how things were back then. Hopefully I don't say things like that anymore. So yeah, my very first Let's Play was Bayonetta, which for a lot of people they would say is a bad idea. You should always do, like, I don't know, something you're not as invested in first, but I jumped right in. But luckily I got a redo, because when I finished the normal playthrough, I went back and did it on the hardest difficulty by myself, and I was still not very comfortable about talking by myself, so those videos were very, very heavily scripted. But I think they turned out okay. They turned out okay, and it's actually been kind of surprising because for some reason lately I've been getting a lot of notifications that people have been watching those old videos, which is kind of embarrassing, honestly. Even just looking at the titles of those videos, they're kind of embarrassing. But yeah, walk down memory lane. I do believe that my pièce de résistance is the non-stop infinite climax playthrough. I think I did a really good job with it, plus all the research I did was like, god, like, so much effort. I don't know if I can do that for a Bayonetta 3 anymore, because it's so time consuming, but it is my favorite thing on the channel, and I think I did okay with Bayonetta 2. Once again, I roped in someone who could help me out with the commentary, and honestly, I think if I were to do Bayonetta 3, I would just do it by myself the first time. Most likely. But hey, they haven't even said anything about Bayonetta 3 yet, so who knows if it even exists. But it's highly likely if I am to LP Bayonetta 3, I will probably do it by myself. And do it bloody right. It's amazing though how things have... yeah, Toddy was good. Like, I had a lot of complaints about... I've had lots of complaints about my co-commentators, but I think Toddy was quite good because he was also an LPer. But there's no pleasing some people, honestly. I guess if Ursa had a better microphone, I would pull him in to do commentary for Bayonetta 3. But again, that depends on syncing up times and everything, and that's the other aspect of having a co-commentator, is trying to sync up time to record and everything, which as I'm getting older is becoming a lot harder as well. So yeah, Bayonetta 3, who knows, we'll see how it goes. The Bayonetta 1 LP is my yeah, the co-commentator on the other hand, yeah, I have zero recollection of my commentary in the normal playthrough for Bayonetta 1. I imagine it was quite cringeworthy because I was 20. Yeah, I like to think that Bayonetta 3 will be the culmination of my prior experience, so I can actually talk without being awkward on a microphone and give really awesome research shit all the time, hopefully. It is amazing though how much I've changed, because in the Bayonetta's 10 years thing has actually marked a lot of change in me, because you can see at the very beginning in my videos, I was absolutely bad at all of this. I was bad at doing videos, I was bad at doing commentary, I was bad at talking by myself, and now I've sort of, I guess, grown up and gotten better at it, and it's actually translated into real life, like, skills, so I have zero issues now talking in front of, like, a crowd of people. But me 10 years ago would never fathom doing that. So Bayonetta for me represents a lot of growth. It's also, represents a really great community around, something that we all just love. It represents like a development of my, I guess, dedication to the fandom. Yeah, because I feel like with how my Etsy store is going, I feel like it's in some way me trying to give back to the Bayonetta community, so to speak. I've yet to had someone who really complained about my products, and I'm quite proud of them. So if you have bought stuff from me, I have to thank you very, very much from the bottom of my heart, because it's people like you that I'm trying to make these things for. So yeah, that kind of, I guess, sums up what I wanted to talk about for this video anyway. It's still relatively early, so I might stop the recording here and I'll just do like a really casual Angel Slayer run and we'll see how far I can get. Yeah? Yeah. So anyway, to those of you who are watching the video, thanks for listening. Again, leave comments, blah blah blah, all that shit. Please follow me. Please consider watching my Etsy store. It's really good. I think it's good. A lot of people think it's good. Please look at it. And hopefully we'll have more Bayonetta 3 news soon so I can upload stuff more often. But I'm not going to hold my breath for that.